Sharkie Gamer here. So today we're taking a look at the Epic Mickey The Power of 2 clicker. This is basically a Nunchuck Controller for Nintendo Wii. It also works with the WiiU. This is an official Nintendo licensed product, and it's made by PDP. Now this is the second controller they released. This is the clicker controller, but they also released the Paintbrush Controller. And if you want to see a review of the Paintbrush, I did do a review previously. So I'll put a link down in the description to that video in case you want to check that out. But since I've got both these here, I'll just quickly show again that both these packaging, when you align them, it actually aligns that image in the background, forming that castle. So it looks pretty cool. So in case you have both of these, they will look pretty cool on display when you're not using them, because those packaging match perfectly. Okay, so moving on to the clicker review. So this is the front of the box. Of course it says Epic Mickey The Power of 2, and of course it's got some artwork there of Oswald. And of course it's got a nice display image there of the actual controller. So you can sort of get a sneak peek at what it looks like. It says Wii, up here it says also works with WiiU. Clicker lights up. And of course you've got the official license for Nintendo there, as well as the PDP logo. On the side of the box, again has some artwork there of Oswald holding the clicker, and of course it shows you the clicker there plugged into the Wiimote. On the other side is pretty basic, it just has some standard logos and information, and also continues the artwork around the side there. Moving on to the back, it shows you a cool image there of the actual clicker, and it says here Oswald's clicker tip glows red, just like in the game. And of course it's got a cool image there of Oswald. Looks pretty cool. And just here it says, bring Epic Mickey into the real world with this light up clicker controller for Wii. Works like a nunchuck when playing Epic Mickey 2 The Power of 2. Features include a 3-foot cable, an oversized sliding joystick, and a soft silicone tip that glows red. And the rest of this is pretty much just different languages. Of course, down here it also advertises that paintbrush, and like I said, I'll have a link in the description if you want to check out my review of the paintbrush. So yeah, let's go ahead and open this up and take a closer look at this controller. Now again, you get some basic kind of guides. This is really just how you plug it in to your Wiimote. Nothing really special. Just sort of kind of basic information in different languages. And that's how the clicker comes packaged. And of course you can see that cool artwork of Oswald on the side there again. Looks pretty cool. Alright, so this is the clicker controller. So you get a fair decent length of cable there, considering this plugs into your Wiimote. And basically, like I mentioned before, this is a Nunchuck controller. So it's basically a standard Nunchuck controller they've taken, and they've shaped it in the shape of Oswald's clicker. So you've got this sort of square type shape. In the center here, you've got a sliding joystick. It says Epic Mickey The Power of 2. And you got a cool Lentica display just here. You can see it changes there. And of course this tip is soft. And it's white because this is where it actually glows red. On the bottom you've got your two buttons, C and Z. And of course it continues that silver kind of color all the way around. Now using it with the functions. Two buttons on the bottom are pretty standard, the C and Z. Now this sliding joystick here, now basically when they were making this, I'm assuming they were trying to make it look as closely to Oswald's clicker, and so they decided to make a sliding joystick. So how the sliding joystick works is it basically just slides. And that sort of replicates the same thing as a joystick. And I find even though it does do the job and it does work, Like the sliding joystick, it slides pretty easily. It seems more restricting than your normal joystick. Like if you're using the Paintbrush Controller, holding the joystick and using it, it feels just more, you're more free to move around with the joystick. This, when you're actually using it and sliding, it just feels more restricting. So it doesn't feel as nice as using a proper joystick, but it does do the job, and I guess it does make it look like a clicker. It looks like Oswald's clicker, because it's not that high profile. But yeah, not as nice feeling as the Paintbrush Controller's joystick. And when you're actually holding this, getting those buttons underneath, I find it very uncomfortable. Because it's a square type shape. I know they've rounded the edges a bit to be a little bit more comfortable, but still being in such an awkward shape, when you're holding it, it doesn't feel as comfortable to hold as, say, the paintbrush, which is more curved and more natural to hold. This, it's really weird to get the buttons underneath. You can get them quite easily, but when you're doing it, you're pressing against the sides, and your palm is pressing against this corner, so it does get a bit hard, especially if you're playing for a while. So it's not as comfortable as the Paintbrush Controller. And I don't know, I find it a little bit awkward to get those bottom buttons just because the shape. It's like a large, flat shape. So when you're holding it, I just find it's a bit awkward to get those buttons. You can get them, it's not a problem, but it just feels a bit awkward. You kind of lose that comfort factor. Now there is one more feature in this, and that is this glowing tip on this. So I'll just plug this into the Wiimote. So when you plug it in and you've powered on the Wiimote, this will glow red. Turn the light off here just so you can see it better. So you can see it's glowing red to sort of look like Oswald's clicker. So it does look pretty cool, and it does look like Oswald's clicker. And of course it stays red all the time. It's not a changing color type thing like the paintbrush was. So this is always red all the time when you're playing. So they've done a good job in the design of it in terms of what it looks like. It looks really cool. It does look like Oswald's clicker. But in terms of actually using it, it's not as comfortable as the paintbrush. Like, the idea behind having two controls that are both nunchucks, both themed in the power of two, Epic Mickey, is the fact that you have the paintbrush as player 1, and you have this clicker as player 2. That way you've got two themed controllers for both player 1 and 2, and you can quite easily play co-op. One playing Mickey, and of course the other playing Oswald. The problem is, the person playing with the paintbrush is going to be really comfortable using that paintbrush, and the person that gets landed with the clicker is not going to have as much of a comfortable experience. The clicker is not that comfortable to use, even though it does work well. It still works well as a nunchuck, because it is a standard nunchuck, but it just doesn't feel as comfortable. I could forgive the sliding joystick, because it is an interesting kind of design, and it does do the job as a joystick, even though it doesn't feel as nice as your standard joystick. But the fact that they've actually made the shape so square that it actually digs into your hand a bit, and it just feels a bit uncomfortable to play. It doesn't feel as comfortable to play with as the paintbrush does. They could have maybe made this a bit ergonomic. I don't know how exactly they would have done it. Maybe putting a grip or something a bit round at the bottom just to have a bit more of a better experience. But you see, they were trying to match that theme of Oswald's clicker. So it looks cool. It would be ideal for any kind of Epic Mickey fan, especially if you're a collector. And if you wanted a different nunchuck, I guess you could go for this as well. But like I said, it's not that comfortable, and you're probably better off going for the Paintbrush Controller instead. It is novelty, it looks pretty cool, and it does do the job of working. It just, the comfortability factor, that just really brings it down. And also the second fact, of course, is the sliding joystick is not as comfortable or not as easy to use as the normal joystick. I really feel it restricts you quite a bit. But you guys, that was the Epic Mickey, the Power of 2 clicker controller. Like I said, great for fans or collectors, but not really that great to use, especially for long playthroughs. And I don't think you would want to use this with any other game, even though you could, because it is a standard Nunchuck controller. You'd probably just want to use it for the Epic Mickey, because that is where it really stands out and fits into that theme. But you guys, thanks for watching. I am Sharkie Gamer. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have heaps more gaming controller and accessories up very shortly. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you want to, and of course if you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps out a lot, guys. Thanks for watching.